Help me out here. I'm trying to think of a game, high concept science fiction, you solve puzzles with a physics altering gun, there are sing-song robots with attitude, set on the moon at a research testing facility, rhymes with chortle. Oh yeah, that game. The one with the cake. There's no cake in this, although there are a lot of beans and cubes. Call it what you will, an overzealous inspiration, a wholesome rip-off, a loving homage, or a clever tangent. The Entropy Centre is so closely related to Portal that I imagine at this very moment that Gabe is exercising considerable restraint in not unleashing the legal team. Both games are at least in the same family, probably second cousins. I wouldn't call this Portal 3. It's more like when your favourite TV show releases a spin-off that could conceivably be set in the same universe. The main difference is that instead of shooting out portals, your gun reverses time with respect to specific objects. The premise is good stuff. A really creative science fiction plotline that doesn't just sit on top of the game, but intertwines intimately with the gameplay. Warning, minor backstory spoilers ahead. You're a puzzle tester who generates entropy every time they solve a puzzle. This entropy is a resource that's used to power a giant version of your gun that is mounted on the moon and pointed at planet Earth. Every time a natural or man-made disaster causes a cataclysmic extinction-level event on Earth, the gun is used to rewind time to a point before the event, so that humanity can figure out how to avert the disaster and carry on living. But something has gone very wrong, and that's where you enter the scene as mankind's last remaining hope. Gameplay is about 80% puzzle rooms, 10% impressive set pieces, and, towards the end, there's about 10% of this kind of light combat against the somewhat sentient, suddenly hostile maintenance bots that look like laser printers on wheels. The puzzles are fantastic. The time rewind mechanic is a perfect way to get you thinking in a new dimension, and they use it in all kinds of creative ways. Difficulty scales really nicely as they introduce new puzzle elements like fans and bridges that build on the core concept and add complexity and variation. Your enjoyment of this game will depend entirely on how much you like exercising your grey matter, as some of the problems are severely brain melty. The cathartic release of tension as you finally figure out the solution is definitely worth all the deep sighing angst of getting there. Easily the worst thing in the game were the light platforming parts of some puzzles where you had to jump from height onto a type of springboard. If you don't aim your jump quite right, you just fail the jump, and worse, you could have to start building your puzzle solution from scratch. This felt like an unfairly punishing abuse of my time. Either make the springboard's hitbox slightly larger so it's harder to miss, or redesign it so I don't have to start all the way from the beginning if I miss one jump. First-person platforming has never been that great in games, but when you make it a linchpin of progression, then we have a problem. The action-oriented set pieces are a welcome relief between puzzles. They help change the pace and exercise a different muscle to give your brain a much-needed rest. The facility is gradually falling apart under the stress of events, and this makes for some tense times as you jump around, using the gun's time manipulation feature to quickly rebuild collapsed platforms before you plummet to your death. Your time reversal gun has a built-in artificial intelligence brimming with sass and personality. Its name is Astra, and it appears on your gun's readout as a series of dot matrix stylized emoticons. Astra is welcome company, because the research facility is entirely deserted for reasons that you will gradually uncover. The sharp, witty banter between the protagonist and the gun is well written and voiced, and helps to ground the high-level sci-fi in something relatable and human.
Well done. All analysis concluded that you have most likely survived.
Okay, next time, maybe give a little warning, Astra.
The game uses a lot of good visual storytelling. The facility is all sleek, modern lines, bare concrete that has been slowly reclaimed by nature, indicating that it's been quite some time since it was operational. The other main lore delivery devices are the various computer terminals that are scattered around the place. On these, you'll find a variety of corporate parody emails between facility staff that offer fleeting glimpses of their often comically mundane lives, before and leading up to the fall. Towards the end, the difficulty ramp scales to such a point that I started finding the puzzles fiendishly difficult. I'm talking so hard your brain starts to itch. Harder than trying to untie the knot on food delivery bags, or open clamshell packaging without a trip to the ER. After about 12 hours in, I finally had to admit that I'm just not smart enough and stopped playing, as the time and effort I was putting in was less than the joy I was getting out. Obviously, those of you out there who are better than me at puzzle games will get more mileage and finish the game in a shorter amount of time. As the work of primarily just one person, Stubby Games' Daniel Stubbington, the Entropy Centre is a lovingly crafted indie game that punches way above its weight, often coming across as more well-polished and put together than other games made by much larger teams. It has strikingly original puzzles that will really test your smarts, and sometimes your patience, and a very solid science fiction plot. So if you've been hankering after something that tastes a whole lot like Portal, but is also a legit standalone game, you should definitely give Entropy Centre a go.
Bye.